Did you know that our blue lotus flower is imported directly from Sri Lanka to make sure we give you the highest quality, the highest vibrational herbs that we can find, meticulously handcrafted and blended with good intentions of love, peace, and prosperity. Just look at that. Beautiful. Try MahMah Tea's Blue Lotus Wellness Blend today. Available now. Hey babies, it's MahMah Tea, back with another one. You know, I was sitting here thinking this evening about the power of your higher self. The whole point of this incarnation during these days and times is to connect to that higher self. I wanted to talk to you about the power of the elder. The elder who's in their right mind. Because many of the elders that's walking today, some of them, a lot of them, are conditioned to be a certain kind of way and regurgitate the type of thing because it's what they was taught and that's all they know. But this is for the select few elders out there who knew the whole time something ain't right with none of this shit. And the go along, get along days is long over. The babies need you now. This why you said you was coming back here. I'm going to give a shout out to an old girl that passed away by the name of Dolores Cannon. And she said that the volunteers came through in waves. You had your indigos, then you had your crystals and your rainbows, and everybody that came on through here from the cosmos to raise up the frequency and the vibrations of the people on this planet. Because when you do that, the earth raises up her frequency in relationship to you to make this transition to the highest dimension more harmonious than chaotic. There's a war going on outside. Yes, it is. But the biggest war is going on inside you. To see if you're going to merge with your higher self or you're going to stay resonating low on your primal self. You ever notice these days, baby, take a look at these animals out here. They are becoming more advanced, more conscious. They're being more aware of your behavior. They're watching you. And they're changing in their behavior. They're becoming more humane-like. And many humans these days is becoming more animalistic. You're falling again, humanity. You're falling again back into the depths of your primal ways. Not elevating high to your highest self. The source of all things is in you. To your God self. Now many of you get that all mixed up and think, oh, you thinking you God. You thinking that I God is baby. You're missing the whole point of what I'm trying to say to you. Because the word God is really a new word in the whole language of it all. When I'm just using it just for general purposes, for you to really connect to what I'm trying to tell you. When I say to your God self, your soul comes from the source, the creator of all things. I don't care what you name it. And that's the problem with humanity. We're fighting over names and titles. When in fact, you're a reflection of that one thing we call source. What is source? It's the energy, the creator, the creation of all things you see from the heavens above down to the earth below. Y'all all fighting over geographical spots and who was here first and who was here last. Baby, we all here now. Many of you coming across egotistical, narcissistic, like somebody owed you something. Never once thinking maybe the reason why you fail is because of this behavior that you're creating, and karma had to come teach you a lesson by snatching away your power and giving it to someone else. And now you reincarnated back into this existence, carrying that same persona, not realizing that all you doing is stacking karma right back on not only you, but your bloodline. Because I'm sure the way you behaving, you teaching your children to behave in the same manner. If you ain't learned from your mistakes, honey, they bound to happen again through what you call history repeating itself. You know, we're living in some amazing times on planet Earth, Gaia, MahMah Tea, whatever you want to call it. It's our home. It's the mothership. You were all waiting for another mothership to come rescue you. Can't wait to hop off this planet that you came to. Now, many people are born from the stars. Their soul originates from different star systems. And they came here to help out humanity, to connect to your higher self. And so there are beings here that don't want that to happen. So we are at what you call a spiritual war. But at the same time, this electromagnetic field that we exist in, we attracting and repelling this contraction and expansion of energies that's taking place is nothing more than reflections of who you are. Many of you need to ask yourself, are you walking in your purpose? Are you fulfilling your promise? What you said you was coming here to this earth to do. Many of you forgot. But bombarded with distractions, honey, there is plenty to go around. But in your core essence of it all, you remember. You just got to silence all the noise around you. Tune, go within, and connect to that power in you. Because there's a fight for it, and who you going to willingly give it to. And power belongs to you to create, not to destroy, baby. To build up, not to tear down. Now, these things is going to happen on its own because nature is playing a role in this thing too. And she just feeding off the chaos energy that's already existing on this planet. You notice when the earthquake may be coming or some sort of natural disasters coming to the land, and them animals know. Because they not confused by all the stuff that's going on in the planet. They resonate on a different frequency. And they're in tune to the planet. So they shift and move accordingly. The question is, why don't we? The problem just might be we are not trying to connect with our higher self because we have been taught to connect to other deities and beings outside ourselves. And I don't care what color you are. I don't care what religion you follow. I don't care what continent you own. They are all trying to get you to bow and submit onto things, entities, and people, places, and things outside yourself. There's a conspiracy for your spiritual power to make sure you give it to something else outside of you. Now, I've been singing this broken record for a while now, and many of you babies is catching on. This whole time, MahMah Tea, her whole premise is for you to go within, connect to the God in you, because the God in you is your highest self. And all you got to do is learn how to surrender to that. Now, many are asking you to surrender and bow to all type of things outside you. But why is it that they never tell you to go in and find the superpower that's already in you. I was talking to a baby girl a few months ago, and she was giving me a little example of her being sick, and she went to the waters and to the deep blue seas, and she called on this entity and this being, and it came and washed away her illness. Not saying she's wrong. Then I asked her, I said, whoever you called on, you think it was something outside you that healed you? Was it something in you that healed you? And this person was adamant that it was something outside her. And she gave examples of her children and her being a mama, and they separate from her, and they're not the same, even though that she's the mother. But there's a difference in that story. You here with them. What happens when you cross over and you transcend out of here? How do they connect with you? Are they praying to your being, your soul, your entity, for you to come through the dimensions and trigger them and heal them? Or are they activating you that's already in them? Because your DNA in your blood is in your child. And when you cross over here and leave here, y'all ain't two separate beings anymore. She now represents you in the flesh. You still live in her. Many of y'all ain't gonna get that. And that's okay. You don't have to. Some people like, my mother was a terror. My daddy was this, that, and the other. They probably was. But you don't have to repeat their mistakes. You could have been chosen to raise up the vibration and clear the path. Yeah, they still live in you, and you were them and they you. But both of you, one and the same, and resonates from the same source, which is all one. We're trying to make ourselves separate from each other. We not the same as them. They not the same as us. We not the same. There's truth to all of that. Of course there is. Because a lot of people had their hands in this creation and what we see, which there's a lot of division on the planet. But even them, on opposite sides of the fence, they still come from the source of all things. You know, I poke fun and I do things. I do tote the line with my stories. And I did a little video about God versus Lucifer. And baby, the whole story, the premise of that is they one and the same. In my opinion, you thinking that the devil is something outside of God. I believe that all of these biblical stories is really metaphors about who we are and the trials and tribulations that we go through. That's just my perspective. You don't have to agree with me. That's just how I see a lot of this shit. I simplify things and I just try to make it simple, black and white. Throw some shades of gray in there too. Because at the end of the day, it's all a mystery. Don't nobody know anything 100%. And if they do, they lying. You know, it's all perception. Because you're here to see things in the way through your eyes, and so is the other person. Because everybody is really on individual journeys to have an individual experience for their soul to evolve. Now, I'm going to tell you how tricky perception can be. It's called perceptual difference or perceptual ambiguity. And it's kind of determined by your experience, what you see. I think it's called the Rubens vase. We either see a vase or two people. Is the other one wrong what they see? Is the other one right what they see? You seeing two different images. Perceptual ambiguity. And this is what we are all going through on this planet. Everybody sees things how they see it because it's based on your experience. What are you here to experience, baby? And you can't force it down the other person's throat because they see something totally different than you. I guess this is where we're standing at now. We are standing at a time where your perception is creating your reality. But are you tuning in or are you tuned out? Are you trying to take charge of your destiny? Be the master of your fate? Or are you leaving that up for someone else to determine for you? This is where we is now, baby. And ultimately, we all have choices. Just make sure that someone is not giving it to you, that you are actually creating your own choices. This may make sense to some, and this may go over the head for others. Get in where you fit in, baby. But to summarize it all, baby, you have to connect to your higher self as these timelines are flipping and flopping all over the place. It's time for you to merge and be one with the source that sent you here. And where you gonna find that is by going deep within yourself and surrendering to the power. Get in where you fit in, baby. I hope this makes sense for some of y'all and you really catch what I'm tossing out to you. All right, with that being said, y'all be good. MahMah Tea. Bye, babies. Ooh, what is this? I didn't know you had this. So y'all got this? Add a little of that. Do a little of this. With a little bit of that. I'm going to try this. You got to get this. Blue Lotus Flower. Sacred Tea. Available now. You got to try this. Simply delicious.